What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. As requested by quite a few of you to please do the Aviva Premiership Rugby Championship predictions of the semi-finals coming up this weekend, and of course your wish is my command. What an awesome tournament this is. I like the style of it, I like the play of it, I like the South Africans, there's quite a few of them in it, so it's an awesome tournament, exciting rugby. And this weekend's an important weekend because a lot of the English call-ups are going to be wanting to prove a point. They're going to be wanting to go into this tournament and prove that Eddie Jones made the right decision to choose them going forward to the South African tour coming up next month. So it's going to be interesting to see. A lot of the call-ups are in some of these teams, so definitely they are standouts for me to take a watch on. And yeah, let's get to the predictions. Obviously, it's exciting teams. I know two teams very well, and the other two I don't know as well, like I did in the old days. Newcastle Falcons I've liked because from the past, Matthew Burke used to play for them a long time ago. Johnny Wilkinson as well, if I'm not mistaken, before too long. So big fan of Newcastle Falcons because those two are my favourite rugby players. The Rugby Chiefs I'm not too familiar with. I don't know them too well, but they've got some fantastic players in that team, and they're obviously doing well, top of the log, so definite team to watch out for. Obviously Saracens and London Wasps I'm quite familiar with, just from the South Africans playing in the team, so definitely more familiar with that team. So let's get to it. How I'm going to do this is going to just chat a bit about the stats, how many wins, losses versus both teams, just on some points, and then players I'm looking out for heading into this weekend, the standout players that I'll be watching out for. So let's start with the first one, Saracens versus the London Wasps. Two great teams, big fans of the Saracens Rugby Club, so we'll be definitely watching out for them. Obviously London Wasps have some fantastic players in their team as well. So if we look at it, the Saracens are second on the log, whereas London Wasps are third. Both got fantastic rugby players in. Players I'm looking out for are Billy. He's obviously been called up to the England team after being injured, so he's a player to watch out for. Skalkberger, if he plays, I am watching him, one of my favourite players, and he's a legend. He's experienced, he's talented, definite veteran that you want in your team. For me, Owen Farrell, the top point scorer in the Aviva Premiership, so who cannot be watching him? He's an outstanding player and one of the greatest, so we'll be watching him very closely. And obviously London Wasps are going to be wanting to watch him too, so he doesn't score all the points. Mara Etoje, forgive me on the pronunciation of the name, fantastic rugby player, we'll be watching out for him, and Ben Earl as well. Those are just a few. Obviously there's some other fantastic players. If you have any to look out for, let me know in the comment section down below. London Wasps, I'm watching out for Jean de Jong, great player. I find he was very unfairly treated in South Africa because I feel he should have been a Springbok more. He should have played more games for the Boks. He's a talented player, strong, quick-witted, and a good player for me, and I would have had him in the Springbok team more often. But unfortunately, I'm not the coach. Philly LaRue, who cannot watch him, I'm so happy to see he's in good form with the London Wasps. Obviously a fantastic player. When he played for the Cheetahs, he was outstanding. When he moved to the Sharks, I found him very weak and very poor. Not as exciting as he used to be, but obviously he's doing quite well overseas. And hopefully the Springboks are keeping an eye on him to maybe select him when we play England in June. So definite watch. Definitely going to be watching him. Dan Robertson, England call-up. He will be an interesting player to look out for. As I said, English players are going to be wanting to prove a point as they go into the tour against South Africa. Good old Danny, the naughty boy, we'll be watching him very closely because he's a great little player, but obviously been in trouble a few times, so we'll be watching him. He's also coming to South Africa as far as I know, so I'll be curious to see how he does in the semi-final. It's going to be a cracking semi-final. Both teams are talented. They've got the momentum, the gears in within. If we look at the current stats of the two teams, both have got interesting stats, with the one obviously being ahead of the other. Saracens have won 13 games versus 3, 16 tries apiece though between both teams, which is an interesting stat. 408 points versus 335 points. So again, interesting stats between the two teams. Last time they met was on the 7th of January in 2018, and the Saracens beat the London Wasps 38-15. So are the stats talking, or are the semi-finals talking? I've said it in the previous videos for Pro 14 and European Champions Cup that in a final, it's anyone's game. Anyone wants it because they are hungry to prove a point. They want to prove they're dominant. They want to prove critics wrong. So for me, it's anyone's game. They're both outstanding teams, and on a final day, anyone can win. So we'll definitely be looking out for them. Obviously, the one team's won 5 in a row, the other 3 in a row. So they're coming right, if you know what I mean. London Wasps, they're not doing too badly, but second on the log versus third on the log. So it's going to be interesting to see how that one plays up. But I'm excited. Some players that I've mentioned we're going to be looking out for. It's going to be an awesome first semi-final. Now we get to the two teams that I'm not as familiar with as we've hit this tournament, but let's get to it. The Exeter Rugby Chiefs are number 1 on the log. They are on fire at the moment. Definitely looking good. Newcastle Falcons 4th on the log. But, you know, I've said it before. In the semi-final, anything can happen. Last time they met was also on the 7th of January in 2018, and the Falcons beating them 28-20. See, now there's another tale of the turns where the tides are changing and different results. Players I've got down to watch out for the Falcons: Mark Wilson and Vernicki Weaver, tied top try scorer with 13 tries. Fantastic player, definitely going to be watching out for them. Who wouldn't be watching out for a top try scorer? Then we get to the Chiefs. Sam Simmons, he's been outstanding for them this year. I've watched a few of the highlights with how he's played. Definite standout player. English call-up too. So he'll be wanting to prove a point. He will be wanting to show Eddie Jones that he's the right man for the job. 12 tries he scored this season. 3rd highest try scorer. So great stats. Henry Slade is another one I've got down to look out for. So it's going to be exciting to watch. Johnny Hill is another one. He won most lineouts in the whole tournament. So we'll be looking out for him as well. And another English call-up. So some interesting stats to look forward to between the two teams. I'm definitely going to be watching this one just because I don't know them as well, and I want to watch these English players before they hit South African shores, especially those new guys, or these guys that are standing out. If we look at some of the stats, obviously it's between night and day between the two teams. I mean, one is obviously stronger than the other. If we look at the recent form of the Chiefs, they've won 5 in a row, the last 5, and probably one more before. Newcastle 1-1, lost 1, 1-1, 1-1, and then lost 1 again. So not too hot for them. They've played 14 games against each other, with the Chiefs winning 12, Newcastle winning 2 of them. 25 tries to the Chiefs versus 10. So big difference there. 397 points scored versus 222. So definitely interesting there. So definitely it's going to be curious to see how these two teams go against. Obviously, as I said, last time they met, Falcons won. Could that happen again? You never know. My prediction for this one, just because of where they are on the log, where they're standing, where they're sitting, I'm going to go Chiefs to win this game. I'm hoping I'm wrong, because I like the Falcons from a history point of view, so I wouldn't be too sad if they lose, but I just think with the strength of the Rugby Chiefs, with the upcoming players, with the players selected to go to play for England, I think it's a no-brainer. So I'm going Chiefs to win. So we got a Chiefs win and a Saracens win from a South African bloke. Hope you enjoyed this video. Something different once again. I will be recapping and then obviously doing the final predictions as well. So make sure you are subscribed so you can keep up to date with those videos as they come along. Let me know your thoughts down below. Who's going to win? Who's your standout players? And let's continue this conversation in the comment section down below. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Give it a like if you enjoyed it, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button as I've just mentioned, so you can keep up to date. Going to be an interesting weekend. Semi-final galore. We have Pro 14. We have Aviva Premiership. It's rugby coming out of our ears. And in the Southern Hemisphere, we still have Super Rugby going strong. What a weekend. I love rugby. Let's get to it. Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe. Never give up. Cheers.